So the title of our production is Knife Crime, How Concerned Should You Be? The reasons why we chose it is because it has been present in the news over the last couple of years and it's a nationwide struggle. Another reason why we chose it is because most people who carry knives with them are young people with the intent to of protection or to commit violent offence. The last reason why we chose it is to advocate positive change.
So I'm going to be the presenter for our documentary, and we're going to be doing it in the style of Panorama. So I'll be opening the show, giving basic facts and information at the start, just about statistics on knife crime and how people are being affected by it. I'll be giving information about the places we're going to be filming in, and I'll be getting Owen's take on the situation as well once he's done the interviews, and I'll also be doing a voiceover over B-roll footage we'll be getting of Reading, London and Marlow.
So here we've got a few statistics about knife crime. As you can see, in 2017, knife crime rose by 22% in England and Wales. The Crime Survey for England and Wales said most types of crime stayed at similar levels to 2016. It also added that 8 in 10 adults had not experienced any crimes asked about in the survey throughout 2017. Also, in 2017, there were over 39,000 offences involving a knife or sharp instrument, up from 32,000 in 2016. And finally, in the first 100 days of 2018, 52 people were killed in the capital, many of which were stabbings. And as you can see, there's a map of London of all the stabbings. I think we can all see that those are shocking results.
Not long ago, we did a poll on Instagram, and these are some of the results. 89 people viewed the poll, 38 people answered, 21 people said they had seen a stabbing, 17 said they had not seen a stabbing, 54% of people said they had seen a stabbing, which is just horrifying.
So the first thing that we decided to do when we were given this task was to think about who we're going to interview. Obviously, we wanted a victim. But probably the easiest one to do, the easiest person to get hold of would be a policeman of some sort. We did contact the Thames Valley Press Office. They weren't willing to comment on the situation and they weren't willing to send out a police officer. So my friend's dad from secondary school is a police officer, so I managed to get hold of him and talk about the possibility of doing an interview. So there's just some short facts on Robert Malini. He joined the force in 1977, he's been working there for 40 years, coming up to 41 years. Sort of some brief background information that we found on him through some research was that in 2004 he helped victims of the Upton train crash, which was a big train crash, and he sort of had to walk along the platform and help out people in trouble and sort of work out who was the most injured. In August 2008, he was commended for his act there and was named a hero. We actually conducted this interview at Marlow train station last night, so there was a team of 3 of us, myself, Luke and Charlie, who went to go and talk to him, and he came up with some really positive feedback. We got about 5.5 minutes of footage where he basically told us about how he's seen knife crime increase in his 41 years of being a police officer, and some rough statistics and personal stories, which we can then use in our interview to not only give it a more personal touch, but then sort of relate that back to the public and the young people in order to, like Caroline said, advocate a positive change.
Okay, has anyone got any questions? Bev?
Why did you choose this topic? What does it mean to you guys?
Well, I guess it relates to us because knife crime is popular in young people, so that's why it relates to us most of the time. I think Bob said it is teenagers, and obviously we're teenagers, so it relates to us.
And also, we chose to do a panorama-style documentary, and panorama documentaries are usually about like serious topics, so that's why we chose knife crime. It's quite a serious topic.
Thank you.
There's a lot of documentaries about sort of youth of Britain, and they're quite often negative portrayals of British youth. How do you feel like is yours going to have a positive impact or a negative? How are you going to actually represent yourselves?
I think what we're sort of going to sort of try and edge towards is sort of talking about knife crime in general, but then towards the end sort of come away from that and talk about actually all the positive stuff that the British youth do. So even stuff from like the stuff they do at school, like the Duke of Edinburgh Award, charity work. It's a majority of young people are doing fantastic work, but it's a minority that sort of shroud over that and create quite a horrible stereotype over young people.
Is there any potential that you could look at any youth campaigns into prevention of knife crime and things like that to show the two sides of, so the young people that are committing the crime, but then how there's probably an overwhelming majority who are trying to overturn that?
Yeah, I think
A bit of like exploration.
Yeah, that's something we can look into.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Any other questions? No. Cheers, guys.